The thought leaders in the Democratic Party keep encouraging and not rebuking the idea that America is cringe and the people who run Gaza are great. The Democrats are doomed. Alyssa Slotkin's right. Liberals are weak and woke, especially the white ones, and they indulge all sorts of nonsense from their kids, a pattern that then continues on in the Democratic Party.
I used to think the DNC's resentment toward America was just about Trump being in office, but I was mistaken. Bill Maher recently shared some startling statistics that shed light on why Democrats appear to have deeper problems with this country. And honestly, it was stunning. Hearing this from a conservative is one thing, but when a lifelong liberal says it, it lands completely differently. Let's break it down.
1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual. Because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is. But the U.S. is leagues ahead of the rest of the world on most of the progressive issues that are important to young people. America has 14 million women-owned businesses. 17% of black women are starting businesses, which is faster than white women or white men. Gay Americans are free to marry, and 49% of them own property. Yes, in America, gays buy buildings.
Bill opened with a striking comparison between America and several countries that many liberals often defend, especially those in the Arab world. He pointed out that many of these nations aren't democratic in any real sense. In several of them, women still lack basic rights such as voting, running businesses, or even driving. Beyond gender inequality, he highlighted the severe limits on LGBTQ+ rights, where gay and trans people frequently can't live openly or move safely without fear. Freedom of speech, something Americans often take for granted, is heavily restricted, and dissent is harshly punished. By drawing such a stark contrast, Maher pushed viewers to confront a difficult question: why do some liberals vigorously defend these restrictive regimes while criticizing the very freedoms that shape America? His goal wasn't merely to shock, but to challenge assumptions and encourage a genuine conversation about values and priorities.
Mobilize the Intifada is the catchphrase that's really catching on these days. At an AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young loyal followers, this is not a symbol of freedom. This is.
But the adults can't bring themselves to tell the younger generation the whole truth because they've spent years shaping those minds to question, criticize, and even distrust America. From classrooms to social media, from pop culture to political debate, that influence has been steady and widespread. We've all heard prominent left-leaning voices emphasize America's flaws, failures, and injustices, often without acknowledging its freedoms and opportunities. After years of that messaging, it becomes incredibly difficult to suddenly stand before a crowd of young people and explain what America actually embodies: freedom, resilience, and a drive toward progress. Persuading them that the very country they've been taught to doubt is also a place of opportunity and innovation takes more than speeches. It demands honesty, courage, and a willingness to confront the narratives that have been embedded for so long.
The thought leaders in the Democratic Party keep encouraging and not rebuking the idea that America is cringe and the people who run Gaza are great. The Democrats are doomed. Alyssa Slotkin's right. Liberals are weak and woke, especially the white ones, and they indulge all sorts of nonsense from their kids, a pattern that then continues on in the Democratic Party. Last election, it was all the gender stuff, the insistence that men can have babies and such, and now I fear that we like the terrorists is the new that. Liberals need to push back on the dumb ideas that come from their children.
Maher didn't hold back, offering a pointed critique of liberals for what he described as skewed priorities. He argued that they'd become caught up in symbolic or niche debates while overlooking the core problems the country is actually facing. In Maher's view, that distraction played a significant role in last year's electoral defeat. He noted that while discussions about topics like men becoming pregnant grabbed headlines and energized activist circles, They ignored the concerns most Americans prioritize, such as the economy, national security, and border issues. By centering cultural flashpoints instead of addressing day-to-day challenges, Maher said the left pushed away mainstream voters and ceded political ground to their rivals. He stressed that restoring public confidence requires focusing on real-life issues that shape people's daily experiences, rather than getting consumed by ideological battles that seem disconnected from ordinary Americans.
The problem is the energy of the parties with the young and the young are with the terrorists. That's not good. So talk to your children and remind them you don't really want to live like your heroes in Hamas. All the shit you do all day, it was all made in America. Your smartphone, your Grubhub, your freedom to about America, it's all American stuff. You tell your phone you want a milkshake and a guy brings it to your house. Please, you couldn't survive a week living in Intifada.
It well past time for younger generations to confront the stark realities in the very countries they so eagerly defend. Too often, these places are romanticized, framed as progressive or admirable, based on filtered narratives circulated by left-leaning media. Those outlets frequently spotlight selective successes while overlooking or minimizing widespread oppression, censorship, and human rights violations. The outcome is a generation that absorbs a polished illusion rather than the full picture. Maher stressed that without this wider context, many young people end up championing ideals that sound inspiring in theory but collapse in real-world conditions. By acknowledging the truths of limited freedoms, gender disparities, and government repression, he argued, young Americans can develop a deeper, more realistic understanding of what genuine liberty and democracy require, and in doing so, learn to better value the freedoms they already enjoy at home.
The most beautiful symbol of freedom. When the people of Hong Kong stood up to China, they waved the American flag. Why? Because it's not just a beautiful flag. It is a symbol of hope and liberty. Today's divide in America, sadly, is not just about taxes or policy. The left resents this country. They're willing to embrace regimes that hate women, Christians, basic freedoms, because they share one thing: a hatred for America. Don't ever apologize for being proud of this country. You have a moral duty to be.
No one should ever feel ashamed of America, because for generations it has stood as a global symbol of hope, opportunity, and freedom. People from all parts of the world aspire to come here, many spending years in visa lines, paying large fees, and enduring major obstacles just for the chance to live in a nation that provides rights and possibilities unavailable in their own countries. Yes, America has flaws. It grapples with divisions, inequality, and political turmoil. But compared with much of the world, it remains exceptional in its mix of personal liberty, economic mobility, and strong protections for individual rights. From free expression to entrepreneurship, from educational access to the ability to vote without intimidation, the United States offers conditions that millions would sacrifice everything to attain. Despite its shortcomings, America continues to shine as a beacon of hope, a nation that, more than most, represents the promise of a brighter future.
He appears to be an immigrant. I'm going to guess he's a legal immigrant. And that's the type of American you can be really, really proud of. And that's the type of people that we want here. Someone who loves this place, who understands this place, who doesn't want to come here and fundamentally alter it the way Zorhan Flamflami does. It's different. It's different. And we better really start understanding that. Do you think that Welch chick really loves America? Or does she want to burn it down? What do you think the Hamas guy over there wants to do? Or the Batman villain? Or the rest of them? I mean, they tell you all the time, right? You don't have to believe me. Go see. You know, we always check it every year. Go see what they post on Memorial Day or on Labor Day or on Thanksgiving. And they never posted appreciation for this country. They never step back. Ilhan Omar should wake up every morning and get on her knees and look up at the flag and thank this country for taking her out of Somalia. But instead she has come here to burn it down.
That's absolutely true. America has welcomed millions of immigrants who arrived with humility, respect, and a sincere desire to contribute. Many have become exemplary citizens, working hard, following the law, and steadily creating better futures for their families. They've embraced the freedoms and opportunities this nation offers while showing real gratitude to the country that opened its doors to them. But it's also true that not everyone comes with the same purpose. A small number have acted in ways that challenge America's laws, values, and traditions, putting at risk the very principles that make the nation strong. Though these individuals are a minority, their actions can create tension and distrust. That's why it is essential to distinguish between those who seek to strengthen the country and those who aim to take advantage of it. By honoring the contributions of law-abiding immigrants while remaining aware of harmful behavior, Americans can protect the ideals that have long made this nation exceptional.
Democrats need to get their together because we need two parties in this country, and we desperately need the one that still concedes elections, doesn't sell the office, and doesn't want to completely switch out democratic rule of law for a rubber-stamped autocracy. But that party is so right now, and nothing to me symbolized that more than this video. Why do I say that? Well, let me put it this way. I don't know for a fact that this couple are Democrats. I just know it's true.
Maher explained that he felt the couple alignment with the Democratic Party was obvious from the way they reacted when the kiss cam landed on them. They immediately tried to hide, almost as if they didn't want to be noticed. To Maher, that moment captured a broader problem within the party, a reluctance to acknowledge the extremes of wokeness on their own side. He argued that many Democrats privately understand that some of these exaggerated cultural stances are hurting their reputation and driving voters away, but very few are willing to call it out. The reason, he said, is fear. Fear of being cancelled or shunned by their own peers keeps them quiet even when they know better. Maher sees this not just as a personal failing but as a structural issue that stops the party from balancing ideology with practicality. Without honest self-reflection, he warned, Democrats risk distancing themselves from the voters they need to stay relevant and competitive.
I knew they were Democrats for the same reason I knew this was a Democrat. You can't hide from the kiss cam, and you can't hide in the Oval Office. Damn, if only the lady at the Coldplay concert had brought some folders with her, maybe she wouldn't be in hot water today. Now, am I saying that only Democrats run and hide? But Democrats seem to be afraid of everything. They were petrified of COVID, masking 2-year-olds who never would have died from it and keeping schools closed for far too long. They're definitely afraid of their kids, who from time immemorial have always come up with bad ideas. Their kids, thinking up stupid what they do.
I honestly can't understand why so many parents today seem intimidated by their own children. In countless households, kids are being allowed to make major decisions that clearly belong in the hands of adults. Parents not only cave to their demands but even ask for their input on issues far beyond their age or maturity. Maher argues this trend is driven by pop culture. TV, movies, and social media frequently portray kids as smarter than their parents, or as the real heads of the household. While that may seem cute or progressive on screen, the real-world consequences aren't harmless. Giving children that level of control blurs boundaries, weakens discipline, and undermines respect for authority. Maher stresses that kids don't need to run the show, they need stability, limits, and consistent guidance. Only then can they develop into capable, grounded, and responsible adults.
But parents used to tell them, that's ridiculous. The world doesn't work that way. Not today's parents. They say, you're right, honey. Gender is just a social construct.
The Democratic Party's strong embrace of extreme woke ideology has become a central factor in its current political challenges. Maher argues that the party committed itself to cultural and ideological positions that may appeal to a vocal minority but turn off a far larger share of voters. Instead of shifting direction once it became clear these views were costing them support, Democrats chose to hold on to ideology rather than practicality. That unwillingness to adjust, even as the signs became obvious, directly contributed to their recent election setbacks. Maher says the lesson is straightforward. Long-term political success requires balancing ideals with the real-world priorities of voters. By elevating symbolism, identity politics, and internal posturing over the everyday concerns that matter most to Americans, the party created the conditions for its own losses. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this.